Welcome to those discovering Dover Den History channel for the first time, and welcome back to those building it with us. This is Dover Den History, where every day we explore the history behind every law, every leader, and every event that shaped America, and the legacy that makes it unforgettable. Let's begin. In 1959, America stood at a crossroads. One path led to orbital missile bases and military control. The other, telescopes, moonshots, and civilian science. In a quiet move few remember, President Eisenhower chose the second. On October 21st, Eisenhower made a decisive call. He transferred the Army Ballistic Missile Agency, home to the Redstone and Jupiter rockets, and led by Dr. von Braun, to NASA, not to the Pentagon, not to the Joint Chiefs, to a civilian agency barely a year old. NASA had no launch vehicles, no deep space program, and no real authority. But with this move, it inherited the rocket infrastructure that would define its future. Von Braun's team had already built missiles and launched satellites. They had the technical edge America needed to compete with the Soviets. Eisenhower's transfer gave NASA the tools to build the Saturn V, launch the Apollo missions, and land humans on the moon. It also created the Marshall Space Flight Center, NASA's powerhouse for propulsion and engineering. This was the moment NASA became more than a name. It became a launch pad. Eisenhower wasn't just reallocating assets, he was drawing a boundary. Space would be a domain of discovery, not domination. Civilian control meant transparency, collaboration, and science. It meant astronauts instead of soldiers, and missions of curiosity instead of conquest. That choice shaped how the world saw America, not as a threat, but as a pioneer. That decision still echoes. NASA's Mars mission, deep space telescopes, and international partnerships all trace back to Eisenhower's firewall between science and strategy. The U.S. Space Force may guard the skies, but NASA still explores them. And every time a rover lands or a telescope launches, it's a reminder America chooses curiosity over control. Presidents since have tested that boundary, proposing space-based weapons, defense shields, and military-led missions. But so far, the core principle has held. At its heart remains a scientific domain. Eisenhower's firewall still stands. And NASA, it didn't stop at the moon. It mapped Mars, flew probes past Pluto, and built the James Webb Space Telescope to look back billions of years. It's decoding black holes, chasing habitable worlds, and leading the Artemis program to return to the moon and go beyond. If any nation puts humans on Mars first, it will be America through NASA, and it will be because Eisenhower made sure space belonged to scientists. Most people don't know this story, but it's the reason we reached the moon. It's the reason NASA became what it is. It's the reason we keep reaching for the stars. And it's the reason space, for now, remains a place for discovery, not domination. On October 21st, 1959, President Dwight D. Eisenhower drew a line between science and strategy and handed the future of space to civilians. That firewall has held for over 6 decades. The question now isn't who controls the rockets, it's whether we still believe in the choice he made. You decide if Eisenhower made the right decision to give NASA its purpose and means to achieve it or not. This has been Dover Den History, where legacy lives one story at a time. If you liked today's video, give it a like. Subscribe to join the ranks and keep the archive growing. Comment so we know what you enjoyed or didn't. Thanks for being part of the Dover Den History Regiment, where history is remembered even if others have forgotten.